Sustainability is really at the core of what we do, from the trees we grow in the forest all the way through to the timber products coming out of our mills. One of our 12 priorities for sustainable development is waste reduction, and that's about looking at all of the waste, both in our own operations, but that we create through the products and packaging that leave our mill. It's about understanding how we can reduce the amount of waste that we're using, but also how we can use it and repurpose it for something more useful and create new value from what was once considered a waste product.
I've worked for OneFortyOne for nearly 30 years and I really enjoy those future opportunities of finding waste, collecting waste and turning it into something that's a usable product. We dry our timber at the sawmill, and when the timber is dried then there's a certain amount of moisture or water comes out of the timber, and it's quite a low pH product. The nursery gets water out of the ground to use on their seedlings. That water is a higher pH than they need, so they use acid to dose it down. So the idea was put that we could use some of our water, which is a lower pH water, in the nursery, and they could reduce the amount of acid that they use. So what we did was grab a couple of samples, just a few 1 litre bottles of the wastewater that we hadn't dosed, and sent it out to the nursery so they could get it analysed at the lab and see what kind of nutrients are in it, and then also have a look and see what they can do with it. So those results came back very favourably.
Well, over the last 3 years we've seen a major step change in the way we grow the trees here at the nursery. We've progressed from being fundamentally a tree farm where everything was grown in ground and all of the inefficiencies that go with that, to going to a complete containerised bench system, which allows us vastly increased control over the quality of the product we're growing. The Nursery Modernisation Project is one example of the innovation that goes on here at the Glencoe Nursery, and the pilot wastewater program is another. If that proves successful, that will greatly allow us to reduce the amount of chemical use on the site. Also, the growing media we use actually started its life as pine bark in the sawmills in town. For around 15 years we've had a relationship with local company Van Shakes Biogrow to produce this growing media for us. So what was once a waste product has now gone full circle and is being used as a resource by the very people who grow the trees in the first place.
Responsible resource use is about recognising that the resources we rely on as a business are finite, and that we need to maximise those resources to produce product in a responsible and sustainable way, and ensure that those resources are still available for future generations.